Hello, sophomores, class of 2025. This is your registration video for your junior year. So if you're a sophomore, you're in the right place. So today we're going to go over a lot. We're going to go over graduation requirements, high school and beyond plan, pathways, registration for your junior year, and then just things to be thinking about for your junior year and beyond. So first thing we want students to start really understanding is graduation requirements. This can be a lot of information, but we think it's really important that students understand their graduation requirements so that they can track and advocate kind of for themselves. So every student's going to need 24 credits to graduate. And so what that means is each year you have the ability to earn 6 credits. And so over 4 years, that should get you up to 24 credits. Specifically within those 24 credits, everybody's going to need 4 years of English. So no matter what your pathway is, no matter what your post-high school plan is, you're going to be in English all 4 years. Math, everyone's going to need 3 years of math. That third year of math is going to look a little different depending on your post-high school plan. So every student is going to need 1 year of algebra and 1 year of geometry. That's your first 2 years of math. That third year of math is going to differ for students. And so if your plan is to go to a 4-year college right out of high school, your next math after geometry would have to be Algebra 2 or Honors Algebra 2. That's the minimal requirement to get into a 4-year college. If your pathway is maybe you want to go into the military or a technical school or community college or work, that third year of math does not have to be Algebra 2. It could be something like personal finance or accounting. So that's going to vary for all of our students. If your plan is to go to a 4-year college right out of high school, most of those colleges, if not all, will tell you that they do prefer you to be in math all 4 years. So plan on being in a college level math for all 4 years of high school if your plan is to go to a 4-year college directly after high school. 3 years of science. So everybody's going to need 3 years of science. That sequence is traditionally physical science, biology, and then that third year of science can look different for a variety of students. Some colleges do expect you to be in what's called an algebraic science. That means like chemistry, honors chemistry, or AP physics here at Olympia High School. We have a lot of great options for science as you become a junior or senior, and all those are going to be on the back of your course request sheet. And so you'll have some really good options for science your junior and senior year. 3 years of social studies. So you're currently in your first year of social studies. That's world history or AP world history. Your junior year, next year, you're going to be in US. And then your senior year is going to be like government. 1 year of CTE, technical and college and technical education. So you just need 1 year. A lot of students will have taken this. Marketing, BizCom, Wood Tech, Oli Bear, those are all CTE classes. 2 years of health and fitness. So everybody's going to have to be in health and fitness their freshman year. And then that second year can be waived if you've done a sport here at Olympia High School after your freshman year. Or an activity, or you can take 2 years of health and fitness as well. These last two requirements, art and world language. So this can be a little bit confusing. The state requires 1 year of art no matter what. So every student's going to need to graduate with 1 year of art. You can get a second year of art as well, or if you don't do a second year of art, it's what's called a PPR, Personalized Pathway Requirement. So an example of this would be, let's say that you want to be an elementary school teacher. So maybe instead of taking a second year of art, you take our Oli Bear class here at Olympia High School, our preschool class. That class is an elective, but it's geared towards what you want to do post high school. So that's what we call a PPR. And then world language. So 2 years of a world language is not required to graduate high school. However, it is required to go to a 4-year college right out of high school. If you want to go to a 4-year college right out of high school, you would take 2 consecutive years of that same world language. So like algebra or Spanish 1, Spanish 2, French 1, French 2. Our world language program is really strong, and it not only teaches us language, but it teaches us cultural awareness and things like that. And so you don't have to take a world language just to go to college. It can offer a lot more benefits, but that is the requirement to go to a 4-year college. And then if you want more information about all of these requirements and credits, you can go to OSPI's website, or always work with your counselor and we can help you walk through some of these. One thing to keep in mind, there are some classes that we call dual credit. What that means is, let's say that you took VisCom. VisCom can give you a CTE credit and an art credit. And so or art can do the same thing. So some of these electives are pretty cool because they can meet both requirements for you with just one class. Okay, so am I on track to graduate? So again, you should be up to 9 credits, right? So your freshman year, you earned 6. And then first semester of your sophomore year, you earned 3. So that's 9. By the end of this year, you should be up to 12 credits. Some of you might have a little bit more than that because maybe you took something like algebra or geometry in middle school. So some of you might have 10 or 11 credits already, which is great. If you need to get caught up on credits, maybe you're behind, you had a rough freshman year or sophomore year, or just need some extra support, meet with your counselor and we can look at ways to catch you up. We have summer school, which is a good retrieval opportunity for students. There's not summer school information out quite yet, but usually by about mid-May, we're going to get more information about that. And then you can access your graduation requirements on Skyward. It's kind of what this looks like. So you just go to the tab that says graduation requirements. And so we really encourage students to utilize this if they haven't already. Again, just helps them track their own requirements and be good advocates for themselves. High school and beyond plan. So beyond just credits, this is another requirement to graduate high school. So high school and beyond plan, Mrs. Bolts is our college and career specialist. She's awesome. She goes into the classroom about 3 or 4 times a year and does lessons with the students on the Naviance platform. And so students, make sure that you're keeping up with your Naviance, your assessments, your surveys, your tasks, your resumes, because this is a high school requirement to graduate high school. And so each year they kind of build on each other. And then by the end of your senior year, this needs to be complete in order to graduate high school. So graduation pathways. This is a lot of information also to take in, but we just want to go over all the different pathways. Beyond credits, beyond high school and beyond plan, there is graduation pathway, which has to be met in order to graduate. So this is the last kind of big thing that you need to complete in order to graduate. This can be met in a lot of different ways. It used to just be met by taking the SBAC or the HISB, it used to be called, but now they've given you some other options. The SBAC, Smarter Balance Assessment, is what that abbreviation is offered in the spring to all of our sophomore students, and it's in English and it's in math. We highly encourage students to take this and take it seriously because if they do get a 3 or a 4 on the SBAC, then they've met their graduation pathway and then they don't have to worry about it anymore. And so I don't want to say it's the easiest pathway because not all of us are great at taking tests, but it is the most accessible because every sophomore does take this during the school day. And so we just encourage students to do their best with this test because if they get a 3 or a 4, they've met their graduation pathway. They do need to meet it in both English and in math. ASVAB, so this is an aptitude battery test that the military does use, but that doesn't mean that if you take this test that you are required to go into the military. It's a really cool test. I really like it because it can test your skill sets that maybe you didn't even know that you had. And so it gets offered here probably 2 to 3 times a year. It's different from the SBAC in that you have to sign up to take it. So it's not just offered to everybody. You do have to sign up to take it. If you get a 36 or higher, however, it does meet your graduation pathway. And so we've had a lot of students find success with taking the ASVAB as a graduation pathway. Dual credit courses. And so this would be something like AP classes, college and the high school, running start, classes that give you high school credit as well as college credit. You do need to get a C+ or higher in order to meet this pathway, however, in both math and in English. SAT, ACT, so that's a college test, college level test. And so there are cut scores that you need to achieve in order to meet your graduation pathway by taking the SAT or ACT, but that's another option. AP exam, so if a student gets a 3, 4, or a 5 on an AP exam, let's say that they take it in English and they get a 4, that meets their graduation pathway for English, but they still need to figure out how they're going to meet their pathway in math. A lot of students will go take college in the high school pre-calculus, and that meets their pathway. So a lot of different options for that. CTE course sequence. And so what this means is you can take 2 CTE classes that are like a sequence at Olympia High School, and that would meet your graduation pathway. An example of that is if you took marketing and then you took accounting. So that's 2 years of CTE or 2 credits of CTE. That would meet your graduation pathway. Another option would be art and viscom. That's a CTE course sequence. Marketing and personal finance. So there's a lot of those. So you would want to meet with your counselor to kind of walk through if you've met that, or if you want to meet it by taking the CTE course sequence. And then a combination of any of these. Like I said, maybe you get a 3 on your SBAC for English, but you don't pass it in math. We would just need to find another way for you to meet your math requirement. So a lot of information about graduation pathways. Feel free to meet with your counselor to talk about these if it feels a little bit confusing. Okay, so junior year classes. So kind of for the first time, you guys are going to have a lot of flexibility in what you take and what classes you sign up for. The consistency will be with your English and your history. So every junior is going to have to take an English class and a U.S. history class. There are obviously 3 different kinds of English. You could do regular, college in the high school, or AP. Same with U.S. history. Where everyone's going to differentiate is in their next 4 choices. And so we talked a little bit about math already. You always want to work with your math teacher to find out what their recommendation is. But those of you that are in geometry and you want to take that Algebra 2 just as your next math class, just understand that there's an honors Algebra 2 and there's a regular Algebra 2. Honors Algebra 2 does get you to pre-calculus. Regular Algebra 2 does not allow you to take pre-calculus. You would have to take honors Algebra 2 after that class, or if you take regular Algebra 2, you could take AP Stats or AP Computer Science, which are also great math classes to take. So talk to your math teacher, really work closely with them to make a good decision for you as far as math goes. If you're in Algebra 2 or if you're in Honors Algebra 2 and you're a sophomore, you're a little bit ahead, but we still encourage you to continue on with math if the 4-year college is your goal. Science, we talked a little bit about science already, some really good science options. Art, if you haven't met your art credit yet, or if you just love art, continue to take that. CTE, PE, if you haven't started your world languages yet and you think a 4-year college might be in your pathway, or you just want to explore world language, you want to start that your junior year. And then there's, of course, other electives, band, music, things like that. We always want to encourage students moderation, balance. So we caution students about signing up for 6 AP classes or even 4 AP classes. That's a lot of work. And there's other classes like, for example, Spanish 3 and chemistry. Those don't necessarily have the AP or the honors next to their name, but they're still pretty challenging classes. And so we really want to talk about balance. If you do outside activities and sports, things like that, keep that in mind. On average, they say that AP and honors classes are usually 1 to 2 hours of extra homework a night. And so when you sign up for, 3, 4, 5 of those, that's going to be pretty consuming. So we love students to challenge themselves to find rigor in their schedule, but we also want students to find balance and just a healthy approach to their academics. Our course catalog is accessible online or just through this link right here. So if you're ever wondering about a class, we have good descriptions online about them. And then utilize Showcase on March 17th. Hopefully you remember that from last year. That's where you get to choose 3 presentations to go listen to. Maybe different electives or AP classes or college in the high school to understand what those look like. We hope that you utilize that time to help make some decisions for your classes. Okay, so junior year, again, a lot more choices for you guys. And so we're going to have, at Showcase, we're going to have Newmarket in. College in the high school is going to do a presentation so you can understand that. We love college in the high school and we love AP classes because it keeps students here on high school campus, which we love to keep you here, but it also gives you the chance to earn college credit here before you graduate. And so we really encourage you to check out the college and the high school classes, the advanced placement classes. On the back of your course request sheet, you're going to see abbreviations by a lot of classes that give you the opportunity to take those. College and the high school uses actual curriculum from colleges. And so it's pretty cool because you get maybe an advanced peek at what it looks like to take a college level class, but stay here on campus. Same thing with advanced placement, otherwise known as AP. The benefit to AP, or one of the benefits to AP, is that it's nationally recognized. And so if you think about, going outside of Washington State, to college, everywhere you go in the country knows exactly what AP looks like and what's been taught in those classes. And so those are great benefits. CTE dual credit. We have a slide coming up that tells you about the different classes that offer CTE credit from colleges, which is pretty cool. The Freedom Farm is an awesome opportunity. It's a great program we have here in Olympia School District. They're going to be at Showcase. Running Start, a lot of students are familiar with Running Start. That gives you the opportunity to go to SPSCC or local community college and take classes at the college. It's got a lot of benefits to it. It does require students to be pretty independent and pretty mature because they do treat you like an adult. And so we want to make sure that the right kind of students are signing up for Running Start just because there's a lot of independence required. But it's a good option for students. It saves you money. We pay for your credits while you're there. So it has some benefits to it. Again, Showcase March 17th. That's going to be where you're going to hear from specific presenters about their programs, their classes. And so we want you to take advantage of that. And then Parent Showcase, that's March 15th. That's on the Wednesday evening before that. Parents are going to get a chance to see kind of what classes look like for you as well. Okay, New Market. So New Market Skill Center. Some of you might actually be in New Market as a sophomore, but mainly this is for juniors and seniors. New Market's an awesome program. It's got really cool hands-on programs that many will offer core credits in them that used to just be electives, but now, for example, if you were to take collision repair technology, so if you want to work on the body of a car, like a mechanic, you can get an English credit by taking collision repair. This diesel and marine technology, I believe you get a science and an English credit. Firefighting, you get a science and a PE credit. So this is all listed on the back of your course request. And so if you feel like you want something that's really hands-on, a lot of these will give you, like the firefighting, you get your first aid card. The professional medical career nursing is really cool because you get to do clinical. So you get to go into doctor's offices in the spring and work in clinics, which is pretty cool. You get very hands-on instruction there. So New Market works by taking 3 classes over at the New Market Skills Center, and then you come back here and take 3 classes. So you're still on our campus half the day, but it's just a good opportunity for you to get hands-on learning. And so again, come to their presentation on the 17th, or you can go to their website. I know they're already accepting applications for next year. College and the high school, talked a little bit about that already. So as juniors, you have opportunities to go to any of these classes next year that give you college and the high school credit. And so what that means is if you pay for the credits, usually it's about $200 to $300 a class, you can leave Olympia High School when you graduate with credit from Central or Eastern or UW, depending on what class you take. And so these would be prereqs that you would have already met by the time you get into college. And so we love college and the high school because it allows students to stay here on campus to enjoy Olympia High School as well as get rigorous classes from college level instruction. And so we're growing that program. It just started with a couple classes a few years ago, and we've really grown it to a lot of different classes. So we love college and the high school here. And then dual credit, CTE dual credit. Our teachers have worked really hard to align their curriculum with community college or technical college curriculum. And so you can get credit by taking any of these classes. And you have to get a certain grade in order to get the credit. But you can leave here as well if you want to go into any of these programs. This is a good start for you to take these in high school so that you can meet those prereqs if you go into any of those programs right out of high school. Okay, the Freedom Farm, talked a little bit about that. The Freedom Farm it's hard to do it justice just by talking about it. I always encourage students to go out there and just see what it's like. These students in this program does amazing work in our community. It's incredibly hands-on, so you're seeing firsthand how to plant and grow things. And so you get all your core credits met by doing the Freedom Farm. So English, social studies, science, math, all of it is met at the farm. Kids love it. Our community loves it. March 17th, Blue and Sindel, I believe, will be doing a presentation. They do ask that students apply, and so there's an application process, and then they do ask that students come out for what they call a try-on day, so you can kind of see what it's like, which I think is great, just so you know what it looks like. But the Freedom Farm, great option for our students. Running Start. So a lot of you are familiar with Running Starts. This is a program that you can access your junior and senior year. And so Running Start is where you take classes at SPSCC, and you can do a variation of classes here and classes there. You can be full-time at SPSCC. There's lots of different ways that you can incorporate Running Start into your schedule. It's different for every student, and so we're happy to meet with you and talk about it, but there's not a blanket answer for how Running Start works for each student. So it just depends on what you're looking for and what you hope to gain out of Running Start. We do ask that before you make appointments with us to talk about Running Start, that you at least look at their website, because it has a very user-friendly guide on how to apply for Running Start, the timelines for it, and then it has like an instructional video on how you apply to Running Start. And then they also will have a presentation on Showcase that talks about Running Start. So we will work with you to get you into Running Start, but we just ask that you do a little bit of research on your own before you make an appointment with us, just because we really want students to be independent and understand how to navigate that process, because Running Start treats you like an adult, and they don't really incorporate your parents into this process or us. And so we just want to make sure that you can follow this process somewhat independently. Okay, so what's next? So start off with your graduation requirements. Make sure that you know what you still need to do. You're going to go to the OHS website. You're going to click on 2023-24 class registration details. And then the junior subject selection sheet will be there. It's a writable document. We also are passing those out today, so you can have them right in front of you probably right now. The course catalog, you want to utilize that so you understand what classes are and what they look like. And then again, look at Showcase March 17th. You're going to have a chance to look at 3 different presentations, ask lots of questions with teachers, talk to your current teachers. We always recommend talk to your current teachers about what class they think is best for you. And I think you're going to get some good information from them. If you have any classes that you want to take that require a class application, you're going to see that on the back of your course request. It'll say APP for application. And just know that if you choose a class that requires an application, you need to fill that out. If not, you won't get that class. An example of this would be like SOAP. If you want to take Mr. Garrett's class, his SOAP class, you would need to fill out the application. Next time you meet in homeroom, March 22nd, you're going to input your course requests. So all this work that you're doing up until then is important, because on the 22nd, you're going to put these into Skyward as your request. We don't need your subject selection sheet sent to us. That's for you to hang on to, but we are here if you have questions. We are going to be available during a bear time. We'll advertise that a little bit later to have a question and answer time. So if you want to come find us during bear time and ask questions about registration or classes, we'll be available for that. We'll probably do that a couple times coming up here pretty soon. And then it's really, really important that you put these classes in, because if you don't do your course requests, we just do them for you. And so nobody really wants that. We want you guys to have say in what your classes look like. We don't want your parents coming to us in September and wanting to change things because you didn't put your schedule in. So it's really, really important that you follow through with this. And we're giving you homeroom time to do it. So there's really no reason why it shouldn't happen. If you have any questions, again, if you're confused or if you want more information, check in with your counselor or attend Showcase. And then we're excited for you to be juniors. It's crazy. You're going to be upperclassmen. I think that's it for today. It's a lot of information. This video is online. It's accessible. So if you want to come back and look it over, again, email your counselors if you have questions. And we look forward to helping you out with any of this information. Thank you.